A recent survey shows most people don't trust their real estate agents, and trust is important because the agent is helping you with what is usually your biggest investment. We asked Paul Purcell of Braddock & Purcell for advice on picking the right real estate agent. Paul, good morning. Great to have you here with us this morning.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
You say this is perhaps the most critical decision in the process, picking the right agent.
Absolutely.
Why?
We live in our banks today. Our home is probably the single largest financial investment that we have, and it's important that you select an expert when you're going to sell it so that you can maximize the value of your home. All right.
That's the first of 4 tips that you have. Let's talk about hiring an expert, because a lot of people have real estate licenses. That does not mean they're the best. Is that right for you?
This is a very easy profession to get into. Take a 45-hour course in New York, for instance, and boom, now I'm an expert in real estate. And again, because this is the single largest financial investment we have, it's important to make sure that you do your due diligence. You don't hire Susie's sister's cousin Sally because she's new to the business.
Right. But on the other hand, do you go by word of mouth or someone that has had a good experience with someone?
There's a variety of ways. I think recommendations are extremely important. Remember, though, one size doesn't fit all. Someone might have been good for one person, they might not be good for another person. But get lots of recommendation, ask lots of questions, and talk to your friends who have recently sold, use a consulting firm, things like that.
Okay. Let's lead to that. You talk about ask lots of questions. What do you need to ask when you're interviewing a prospective agent?
Well, this is where we put the pedal to the metal. This is where you really have to do a lot of due diligence. You should, at minimum, interview 3 different real estate firms and 3 different agents.
Okay. No matter what.
It's important because you want to get pricing validation. So you want to hear what 3 people say about your pricing. You want to ask them about market conditions, see how smart they are. You want to ask them questions that we wouldn't even think of asking. Are you going on vacation? Are you going to be around for me? What's your work schedule? How can I reach you? How can I access you? What kind of feedback will you give me? All those good questions. But pricing, marketing, and negotiation. Find out if they're experts in those 3 areas.
And to some extent, whether you get along or no? Is it a business transaction, or do you need to have a good chemistry?
Very good point. Personality is important. You're going to spend a lot of time with this person, and it's your home.
Yeah.
And it's your financial investment. So those things are extremely important. Yes, absolutely.
All right. Now, you say, and your final tip is, once you've done all that, you still have to manage the process. It doesn't mean like leave it completely in the hands of this agent.
It's not the agent's home. It's your home. And if you're not managing the process, if you abdicate responsibility, if you price it yourself, things like that, hire the expert, listen to their advice, but then stay on top of them. And if you're not happy, if you don't think you're getting what you deserve and what you need, make changes and make adjustments.
But at the same time, can you cross the line and meddle? I mean, you still have to trust the agent to do something, right?
Well, again, preparation is everything. If you feel you've done your homework and you've hired the right person, yes, trust in them to do the right job for you. But by the same token, again, pay close attention. If you're not getting what you feel you need, have discussions before you throw the baby out with the bathwater. But make sure that you've done all of that you can do to make sure that they're doing the job for you.
All right, and you alluded to this a little bit earlier, but how much does experience play a role? Just because someone has had years of experience, does that make it the best person for you or not?
Well, I think that someone who has experience clearly is going to bring a different kind of pricing ability, a different kind of negotiation ability, and in a market such as we're having all over the United States, for instance, you really want the best negotiator for you. Having said that, though, I think that it's always a nice thing to give a new person a chance, perhaps if they're associated with a more seasoned broker.
All right. So what I want to do, Paul, is just go over those 4 tips. First of all, hire an expert. Then get recommendations from people. Then, and you have at least 3, be prepared to interview at least 3 different agents, and finally still be involved in the process. And a firm like Braddock & Purcell helps how? How would it help consumers?
We're residential real estate consultants. We actually help buyers and sellers navigate the process. We're free to the consumer, and we oversee the process. We're probably, as I like to think, the only people that are truly the consumer's advocate in this process.
All right, Paul, thank you very much for sharing this. Some helpful tips.
Pleasure.